What's going on, guys? Welcome to yet another bossing video that I'm doing per your guys' request. So for this one, I'm going to be doing Barrows, and for the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing Barrows in a few different styles to see exactly how much you can make using what spell or what staff, and see which one is actually better. So I've gotten requests to do 1,000 Barrows chests quite a few times in the recent past, so I am finally going to go ahead and dive into that for you guys. But I want to put a little bit of a twist on it. So instead of just doing 1,000 Barrows runs with the same gear, the same spell, I'm going to switch it up every 250 chests with different spells. Now in this first episode, I'm going to be using the spell Fire Surge, which is the level 97 magic combat spell on the normal spellbook. It is the highest combat spell in the game, so if you don't have 97 magic, this video probably isn't going to be much use to you, but in terms of comparing it to the other weapons down the line, I think it's somewhere good to start. I've been doing a lot of Barrows in the 2000 total worlds to see what the higher level players use, and I do see quite a few people using Fire Surge with the Tome of Fire. The DPS is incredible, but because you use Wrath runes and burnt pages, I really want to see if there's a drawback between spending that much and doing what you're doing. Now the purpose of these Barrows videos isn't actually to see how much I can personally make. Now since Barrows items have decreased in price over time, what you're really looking for here is to get as many runes as you possibly can. The runes are going to make up the brunt of your loot unless you get super lucky and get an Aram's Robe Top every single time you loot the chest. Now there is one key factor in my video that not all of you may have. When you have the Mauritania hard diaries done, you will get 50% increased rune yield from each Barrows chest you loot. So if you don't have the Mauritania hard diaries done and you're watching this video, the prices really aren't going to add up for what you're doing, but the Mauritania hard diaries are not that hard to complete. So I suggest you get out there and grind those out, because the increase in those runes can really make or break your profit while doing Barrows. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. For right now, I'm going to pull my gear up on the screen. Now you're going to look at this and be like, wow, this gear is hundreds of millions of GP. I don't have that, I can't do that. That's okay. That is absolutely okay. I'm actually trying to get through this as fast as I possibly can. What I'm really looking for in these videos is to find the average amount of runes that you get from each chest. Now in doing the video this way, what this is going to let you guys do is see exactly how much runes on average you can expect from a chest, and take your own personal supply costs and subtract it from these numbers to see exactly how much you're going to make at Barrows on each run. Now don't worry, I am actually going to throw in all of the Barrows items that I got at one point as well to see exactly how much I made from the runes plus the Barrows items, but if we're being realistic here, there are 24 different Barrows items that you can get from a chest. The drop rate of a Barrows item is 1 in 17 chests, assuming you kill every single brother. And depending on your luck is really what's going to determine what kind of items that you're going to get from Barrows. Now you could be extremely lucky and get Darok's plate bodies, Aram's robe tops, and robe skirts every single chest. You just don't know. Or you could get the short end of the stick and end up with Torag's hammers, Varroc's flails, and Carol's coists every chest. It really depends on RNG here. It is a random number generator that determines what you get, and you have a pretty high chance of just getting any old item every chest. Now very quickly, I want to run you guys through how I do Barrows and how I think it makes it the fastest and easiest. So the first brother I always start off with is Aram. I go in with my melee gear on and use 2 claw specs on him, switch over to the whip if I need to, and finish him off. After that, I switch over to my mage gear, which is gear switch number 1, and then I go from Darok to Guthan to Carol to Torag to Varroc. Now after this, depending on which brother is going to be my tunnel, this determines whether I have to change my gear now or later. So if it's one of the melee brothers or the range brother, I can leave my mage gear on and just run through the tunnel, run straight to the chest, open it, kill that final brother, and then switch to my melee gear, finish off the kill count to get up to 88% loot potential. Now in doing this, I only have to change my gear twice while doing the run, instead of changing it for Aram, then doing some melee, and then mage, and then back to range, and all that. So doing it this way, it's very quick. Aram is very susceptible to melee attacks. A lot of people do range him, but either way is going to work. Now, as far as runes go, when you're in the tunnels, you're going to have loot potential. Loot potential is going to determine what kind of loot that you're going to get. Now, the runes cap out at 88% loot potential. So if you're looking for the maximum amount of runes and nothing else, you're only going to want to get 88. This will save you a couple NPC kills and shave a few seconds off of your trip time. Now, if you are looking for a little bit more, you can get 100, and this will enable you to get bolt racks, half keys, and dragon med helms, which I don't really recommend because they are somewhat rare and they're not really worth that much. So it's really in your better interest to just go ahead and get 88% loot potential, move on to your next chest, and just get as many runes as possible without worrying about that other stuff. Oh, and if you're wondering while you're watching this video why I'm using a Trident of the Seas, I totally derped and forgot to take a video clip of Barrows while I was doing Fire Surge. So I didn't want to mess up my kill count that I'm currently working on because I'm actually already into the Trident of the Seas runs, so that's why you're seeing that. But anyways, I think it is time that we go ahead and jump into the loot. So the first thing that we're going to go through is going to be the runes. Just the runes, that's it. So up on the screen now you can see the screenshot from all of the runes that I got from my first 250 Barrows chest using the Fire Surge spell. Now my average run took me about 3 minutes and 58 seconds to complete. That is, we'll just round that up to 4 minutes a trip, so we'll say 15 chests an hour is what I achieved with this gear and with this spell. But once again, we're not really here to see how much you can make in an hour. We're here to see how much you guys can actually make from Barrows per run using the gear and whatever else you're using. So up on the screen now we have this screenshot with the runes that I got from my first 250 Barrows runs using Fire Surge. So in total, 97,836 Mind runes, 43,722 Chaos runes, 26,929 Death runes, and 15,064 Blood runes. Now after we average all these out between 250 trips, I am left with 391 Mind runes, 175 Chaos runes, 108 Death runes, and 60 Blood runes per trip. So all in all, that doesn't really look too bad. At current market prices, I am making 67,150 GP as a gross value per Barrows trip that I do. So now you guys can actually take this number and subtract your supply costs from it and figure out exactly what you're going to make just on the runes per Barrows run. As for me, supplies that I used were 26 Wrath runes per run, 1 Barrows teleport tab, and 1.28 burnt pages per run. Now this brought my total supply cost per run to 20,368 GP. And after we take the supply cost away from my profit from the runes, I am left with a profit per run of 46,782 GP, but that is solely based on the runes. So now we can go ahead and add in all the items that I got and see what I actually ended up averaging throughout all of these runs. And now with everything up on the screen, we can see that I made a total gross value of 25,040,393 GP. Now as for total supplies, I ended up running through 6,463 Wrath runes, 321 burnt pages, and 250 Barrows tabs. Now all of these supplies ended up costing me 5,080,353 GP, which left me with a total profit of 19,960,040 GP. Now that supply cost does look a little bit sketchy. It is kind of on the high side, but considering all of these runs on average took me about 4 minutes per run, it took me 16.67 hours to do 250 Barrows runs, which ended up bringing my profit per hour to 1,197,000 GP per hour. So basically 1.2 mil, which in my opinion, for an older mini game slash boss, if you want to call it a boss, well, that's 1.2 mil per hour, and that's really not bad. So all in all, I made some pretty decent profit at Barrows, even just from the runes, and adding the items in brought it up quite a bit. But just from the runes, you can see in the price check, I ended up making more from the runes than I did from the Barrows items. But I think that is about going to wrap up this first video featuring the Fire Surge. I am really looking forward to doing the next few videos in this series, checking out some different spells and different ways to do Barrows to see exactly how much you can make. So with that, guys, I'm going to say stay tuned and don't miss the next few episodes for this little mini series. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up down below. They really help the video's popularity. And if you haven't done so yet, please go ahead and tap that subscribe button on your way out. All of your subscriptions mean a ton to me. They keep my channel going and they definitely keep me motivated. So until next time, guys, I will see y'all later. Take it easy.